Hello everyone, I Shivam Agarwal, Assistant Professor of BCom Department. I welcome you all in the lecture series of Information System Management. Today we are on the second unit of our course, and this is the fifth lecture of our course. And in this unit we have already discussed about what is database management system, what are the advantages of database management system, what are the asset properties of database management system, disadvantage. Now the architecture of database, two tier, three tier, and basically two tiers the client server architecture. After that we have completed about the the types of people who are using database. So now in this lecture we will discuss about the data models. So this is a lecture fifth of unit second. So data models. So a database model defines the logical design and structure of database and defines how data will be stored, accessed and updated in the database management system. While the relational model is most widely used database model, there are other models too. The first one is the hierarchical model, second one is the network model, third is the entity relationship model, fourth is the relational model. So going to the first one, that is the hierarchical model. The database model organizes data into a tree-like structure with a single root to which all other data is linked. The hierarchy starts from root data and expand like a tree, adding child nodes to the parent node. In this model, a child node will only have a single parent node. This model efficiently describes many real-world relationships like index of a book, recipes, etc. In hierarchical model, data is organized into a tree-like structure with one-to-many relationship between two different types of data. For example, one department can have many courses, many professors, of course, many students. So that is about hierarchical. In the hierarchical data, one is a root node, and other all the nodes we can say that they are child node, and the last node we can say these are the leaves node. So basically, if I am talking about a college, so college is a root node, college is a department. So one is the department and another one is the infrastructure. So these are the two child nodes of college, and department has a three nodes. Every department has a three nodes. One is course, one is teachers, one is student, and every course has a two nodes, that is a theory or lab. So that is a hierarchical model. So we have to store information in this manner. There will be a theory table in there, theory subject table, lab subject table, that is linked with the course table, and the course teacher student will link to the department and department link to the college level. So that's the link between hierarchical model. Coming to the next model, that is the network model. This is an extension of hierarchical model. In this model, data is organized more like a graph and are allowed to have more than one parent node. In this database model, data is more related as more relationships are established in this database model. Also, as the data is more related, hence accessing the data is also easier and fast. This database model was used to map many to many data relationships. This was the most widely used database model before relational model was introduced. So coming to the network model, in this network model, this is also a tree-like structure. A is a root node, and then they node are B1 and B2, which are connected with the A, and B1 and B2 is connected to the C, and C1, C2, C3. So these are the this is the type of network, means in which the nodes are connected with each other and communicate with each other. That is known as a network. So that is a type of network model. Coming to the next model, that is the entity relationship model. So in this database model, relationships are created by dividing object of interest into entity and its characteristic into attributes. So basically, entity relationship is that we are making an entity and attribute, and we are making the relationship between entity and the attribute. Suppose that if I am suppose that if I am making a ER diagram of a student and study, so student is an entity, books is an entity, and study is an attribute. So student studies books, that is a relationship diagram, ER diagram. Different entities are related using relationships. ER models are defined to represent the relationships into a pictorial form to make it easier for different stakeholders to understand. This model is good to design a database which can then be turned into a tables in a relational model. So entity relationship model, we are taking an example. Let's take an example. If we have to design a school database, then student will be an entity and attribute are the name, age, address, etc. And address is generally a complex. It can be another entity with attribute, street name, pin code, city, etc. And there will be a relationship between them. So we will understand this with the help of a diagram. So the diagram shows that student is the entity. So the student entity has the attributes name, id, address, age. So these are the connected with the uh, entity is connected with the attributes. So there will be a relationship between student and name. Student name is that, student address is there, student id is there, student age is there. So that is known as the entity relationship model. So the next model is the relational model. This is the most useful model, and we are widely used this model in this time. In this model, data is organized in two-dimensional tables, and the relationship is maintained by storing a common field. So relational model is that where we are joining two tables with the help of a column name that is same in both the tables, and which have a same attribute and same values. So this model was introduced by E.F. Codd in 1970, and since then it has been the most widely used database model. In fact, we can say the only database model used around the world that is known as the relational model. The basic structure of data in relational model is tables. All the information related to a particular type is stored in rows of the table. Hence, tables are also known as the relationals and in the relational model. So, with the help of table, we can make a relations between two, three or four tables with the help of columns. So that's a diagram. In this diagram we can say that there are two tables containing student name and age, one table containing student name and age, another table containing student name and teacher. So with the help of these two tables we can make another table with the link which is linked with these two tables. So we can say that student id is common in both the tables. So that's why we are making a student id, sorry, in one table there will be a student id, and in another table there will be a subject id. So we can say that student id and subject id, with the help of student id and subject id we can make a table, and with the help of this we can make a marks table. So that's the use of relational data. So student id is 1, so 1 is for Acon, and subject id is 1 Acon, 1 is for Java, and marks is for 98. So Acon in Java got 98 marks. So this is, by this we can make a relational. So this is all about the models. So in this we have studies about there are four types of model. One is hierarchical model, another one is network model, and another one is the entity relationship model and the relational model. So the most important model is the relational model, in which we are making a relation between two or more tables, and we know that in database all the things are stored in a table. So if I want to retrieve any information from one table, and that information is also into the another table, and I have to connect these two tables, so for that we have to use relational model, and with the help of that model I can get access of two tables which are linked with a one column attribute that is known as the, I can say, primary key of the table, and which acts as a foreign key in the next table. So that's, with the help of that we can use the tables in relational database. So that's why it is a more important, because we can store information according to the needs, according to the department, and we can link these tables with the help of one attribute. So that's why relational database are the most important database which we are using in today's world. So this is so if we are going with the there will be a, if I am taking a So the hierarchical model, we are saying that this is a root type structure model in which we can make a root and other child nodes, and which are converting in second child node, and so this is the manner of making a hierarchical model. And next one is the network model. Network model is also the extension of hierarchical model, and it is similar to the hierarchical model, in which we can make a link connections between two links, and they can communicate with each other. So that's the difference between network and hierarchical model. And the another one is the entity relationship model, so in which we are defining entity and attributes, and we are making a relationship between these entity and attributes. And the last one is the relational model, in which we are making a relations. With the help of that, we are making a we can link two tables in a single database. So that's why that is the most important model which are used in today's world. So that's all about today's lecture. Thank you. Thank you.